me see this. Why is Carti brilliant?
I did wrong. But besides that, like,
I want you to pause for a second and guess who was sleeping during this interview. On the right, we can clearly see Ian Connor in an interview talking to him. But on the left, if it wasn't obvious enough already, it's Playboi Carti. This footage is from a deleted SSS Entertainment interview with Ian Connor and Playboi Carti taking place around 2016. This is during Playboi Carti's early career, where you'd think his image and publicity overall mattered the most. But as you can see, he has his head down, appears to be sleeping, clearly doesn't give a fuck about the interview. I think this clip perfectly sums up Playboi Carti. He never really cared for interviews or portraying his image professionally. Take the Aiden Ross room that happened just a few years ago. Aiden Ross paid Carti $2 million cash and promised him a Ferrari just to come on stream. Carti did end up coming on stream, but left after only saying a few sentences to Aiden and only 6 minutes on the camera. But
that was low-key messed up. I don't know if anybody was watching that. That was low-key messed up, bro. I'm gonna be honest. When he came on the stream, didn't show his face. It was completely dark. He got the money and dipped. He tried to dip, but I think Aiden's team stopped him before he could get away. But that would have been the craziest finesse that I've ever seen in a minute, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
Carti get to this level of mysteriousness, and why are people like Aiden Ross paying him so much money just to come on stream? Short answer.
Aiden did it because of his community, bro.
He's built such a big following of fans ever since he dropped Whole Lotta Red. His mysterious persona and his unique brand of music has led him to influence a whole new genre and generation of rap. Almost every underground rapper today is trying to be like him, whether it's in their music, clothing, or just overall character. He's become obsessed with this mysterious character he's built for himself because he knows it works. Whenever he disappears, his fans want him to drop music even more. He gets more popular when he doesn't drop music than when he does. He's truly unique in
that is very odd to me. I don't know if y'all have actually noticed that. That is like very common for Carti. When he disappears and when he doesn't drop music, he gets more popular somehow. Like even before even I Am Music came out, he was like everybody's like Carti. Like, bro, what? I don't know.
Industry full of repeats and bland music. This had an impact on the music industry that no other rapper has been able to replicate. But in order to understand how he became so detached and unpredictable, we need to go back to where it all started.
Lachey is a bitch. Lachey is a bitch. Lachey got coffee in his dreams.
In 1995, in Riverdale, Georgia, Jordan Carter.
Shout out ATL though.
From his early childhood.
Bama, where are you from? You from Alabama?
Rap music. The artists that influenced him as a kid, some of the two biggest being Prince and Lil Wayne, would definitely have an impact on how he carried himself. They both went against the norm of society, just like he would later in his career. However, during his childhood, he was a real rebel. He loved to hoop, but he would constantly skip practice, smoke weed with his friends. He would eventually quit basketball completely and take up rapping. He graduated high school in 2014, barely passing his classes. He wanted something bigger than getting a 9-to-5 and just working his whole life. He started to really focus on his rap career. During the early stages of his career, Carti
wait, this is Bama?
childhood friends Uno the
You on your alt account?
and Fani. They had a group called Splur Gang. They would often post
Why are you on an alt account, bro?
Collaborating on songs like Whole Thing and Splur Gang. They eventually got noticed by Father, who was the owner of Awful Records.
It's your boy Cash Carti of Awful Records.
Carti was never actually signed to Awful Records, but they definitely gave him good opportunities. He now had studio time and he was dropping tracks like Broke Boy and Fetty. He was already having small shows and he showed a lot of potential of someday being a big artist. Carti moved to New York in 2015 and he was crashing at different people's cribs that he knew and recorded music with. He was still just 18 at the time, but he was so passionate about music he was willing to just leave everything behind in Atlanta, including his friends. He would begin to fall out with his old crew and started to move on to bigger opportunities. He would continue making music with them, but would start focusing more on his own career. While living in New York, Carti would meet ASAP Bari. Bari fucked with his music and style, and they would become pretty close, often seen hanging out and making
Bama, why are you on an alt account?
Hold up. Nigga got a mask cause he eat the ass.
Bari was one of the founding members of the ASAP mob. He was able to help get Carti connected with almost everyone in the ASAP mob, which were super important connections to Carti at the time. The ASAP mob was also beginning to gain traction in the rap game, specifically through Ferg and Rocky, who both happened to like Carti's music also. Rocky even recalls hearing Carti's music for the first time and immediately liking it. Carti would feature on the Cozy Tapes Volume 1 with the ASAP Mob, featuring on telephone calls with ASAP Rocky, Tyler the Creator, and Young Gleesh. This was his biggest feature in his career up to this point, and later that year, Carti would be signed to OG.
Set by TikTok? What you mean? What you mean? What happened? What you mean set by TikTok?
By Rocky.
Man, shout out to OG. Yeah, Rocky signed me, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of shit coming up.
Carti was also beginning to make music with Lil Uzi Vert. They had songs like Left to Right and even went on tour together. Carti was getting talked about a lot at this point in the underground, despite having such little music to his name. People just liked his overall vibe and style. He was already attracting a fan base even though he didn't have a single studio album out yet. Even though he was beginning to be liked by many, there was still a big presence of Carti haters, including his old group Splur Gang. Carti didn't really feel remorse about leaving them behind though. He was so focused on what he was doing, he felt like he didn't have time to care about other people, even if they grew up together, like he did with Uno and Fani.
Some niggas can say I changed on them because I thought they was on the same shit I was on, but they not. Or they...
Yo, gang, let's pause the video. Why are you not subbed up? Like 90% of you guys, let's sub up, let's follow me on Twitch, and we have a good video.
was on some shit that I wanted to be on, and when I got on that shit, I got on it, then surpassed them, and they was just lost in the sauce.
Carti's narcissistic personality was already beginning to show, even this early in his career. He cared so much about his own success, he was willing to leave other people he was once close to in the rear view.
But I feel like that happens with everybody though, bro. It's like you're so locked in and focused. You can't be so indulged in other people's content, music, because you're just, at the end of the day, you're human. You're gonna compare, and once you start comparing, you're already defeated, bro. I'm gonna be honest. This happens all the time, bro. People in the music industry, content industry, bro. It's always comparison, bro. The only way to succeed is to, obviously you learn from them, but you can't be hyper focused, and it probably comes off as narcissistic. I mean, I've heard Carti talk before. I mean, it is a bit narcissistic, but at the same time, it's probably to his advantage, bro. Because if he's sitting there divulging in other people's stuff, it's like he's at a disadvantage, bro.
It was around this time that Carti would also begin working on his first album, self-titled. To promote his upcoming self-titled
This album was hard, bro.
Woke Up Like This, featuring Lil Uzi. The song went viral immediately. Carti and Uzi obviously had insane chemistry on the song and would continue to record music together.
Me and Uzi be in the studio together at all times, and we just be knowing, you know what I'm saying? We're a team.
Carti also dropped Magnolia, which was also very popular when it came out. His first official studio album was already starting to get lots of attention before its release. Playboi Carti's self-titled album dropped on April 14th, 2017.
When you really think about it, he really hasn't missed in a minute, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Carti has not missed in a fat minute, bro. Like, actually. JV, appreciate the follow, gang.
Was produced by Pure Born.
Don't tell me it's another all.
People initially questioned his talent. He didn't spit meaningful bars like other rappers. He had his own type of sound. He was just too different at the time for people to understand. He was being hated on for being a mumble rap artist, even though some of the most popular songs and artists of the upcoming era were indeed mumble rap artists and songs. People did not think he was talented enough to make it. Even though the album was still very successful, people did not think he was a good artist who deserved all the attention he was getting.
From what I can hear, Playboi Carti very much inhabits that whole Lil Uzi Vert wing of this whole mumble rap trend right now. Playboi Carti, though, reminds me
golly, 7 accounts,
really
bruh?
Kind of feel like he's all that distinct or all that memorable, all that original.
I'm be right back.
He just kind of feels very generic, very dime a dozen to me.
Even though he had a good amount of haters, there were still a lot of people who loved his music. They loved the unique sound and the melodic beats he rapped over. He was already starting to attract a fan base unique to just him. And when Carti released Dilate in 2018, some went crazy and appreciated him dropping more music, but others were very doubtful of his talent. Many thought he was being carried by his producers, just like his last album. What people didn't seem to realize back then is that production matters just as much as the rapper on the beat. I think that the problem is more evident today than it was back then. As today you have many underground rappers today that are just not talented, but have very talented producers, and the music still does not turn out good. This being said, Carti would continue to get hated on, but no one could doubt the numbers and the genuine aura he had at the time. Dial It was even more successful than his self-titled album, and he continued to progress as an artist while continuing to grow his fan base. However, after dropping Dial It, Carti did not release much music. Fans were starting to get desperate, and his disappearance got him more popularity than he ever had before. The build-up to his new album, Whole Lotta Red, was getting intense day by day, as fans kept speculating on its release date. Since he wasn't releasing any music, fans started to leak most of his projects that he was working on. This only delayed the release though, as Carti wanted to give his fans something fresh that they hadn't heard, so he kept scrapping and resetting the album. Carti was now beginning to realize the grasp he had not only on his fans, but the entire music industry. He was one of the most popular artists, even though he had only dropped 2 albums. The hype around his new album was bigger than ever. However, he threw everyone off when he dropped the lead single to the album, Meh. It was unlike any other type of music at the time. It had a confusing offbeat sound to it. It didn't sound anything like his leaks, but this is exactly what Carti wanted, to give his fans something new. When Whole Lotta Red dropped on Christmas of 2020, everyone was shocked at the sound Carti brought to the album.
It's been that long, gang? 2020?
So different from all his other music. It was a mix of punk rock, cloud rap, and trap. People initially did not like the project. They didn't want an album that sounded so different from Carti's old stuff.
10?
The same vibe he had on his last
16 now?
albums and the leaks that dropped before the album. But Carti had a vision. He was evolving as an artist. He didn't make the same music because he knew people would eventually get tired of it. He gave the fans something new. This would be a generational decision when it came to his music, but fans just didn't seem to realize it yet. But as time went on, people began to realize Carti's vision was right. He gave the world a refreshing new genre of rap, and people were beginning to like it. He started to gain an even larger following and crazier fan base. He was now being talked about more than ever. He had some of the most crazy diehard fans in the industry. It made Carti's fan base feel more like a cult than anything else. But even with all this attention, Carti didn't capitalize.
He's only gonna get bigger though. That's the thing though, bro. It's like he doesn't do enough to get canceled. He's just gonna keep dropping. I don't know at what point he retires. I don't know what time you call it quits, but I don't think he's gonna retire anytime soon, bro.
And drop another album or even just more singles. He had a few features on Donda with Kanye, but that was about it. After a 4-year wait, Carti would finally start dropping some music again. He dropped music videos that only appeared on social media. Evil Jordan, Hood by Air, You're the Moon, 2024.
Yeah, 2020. That's what I'm saying, bro.
All these videos displayed Carti's new era, the deep voice era. Carti would again transform into a different artist. After he released his album Music, he shifted from his old Vamp era to something new. Since dropping Music, he has posted a deluxe and also some more unreleased music videos. But there is no sign of an album coming anytime soon, to nobody's surprise. Carti has built an empire off being mysterious. He's one of the most memorable icons of rap already. You could argue he's up there with Kanye, Future, Drake when it comes to just his impact on the music industry. Yet it seems he did all of this with little effort, but his effortless success surely because of pure luck or actual talent.
Tight vibe. W video. Like I said, Carti's only gonna get bigger from here, bro. I'm gonna be honest, bro. It might be cooked.